I wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday. But I can figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, and maybe... Yeah, I've already theorized a lot of shit here. First of all, he was stabbed from the front by a dagger, which unfortunately I can't show, I think. No, because there is not really an image of it. But it is a dagger that... Well, hold on. Nope, God! I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Maya, not now. No, shit. There you go. There we go. Okay, so that little dagger that the figurine has. That is basically something similar to what the dagger was stabbing him. But I don't believe the dagger stabbed him. I believe, with thought of how much blood there is on the statue, that he died by being pushed into the statue. Because it is actually having the same sort of design there as the dagger. And not only that, I believe one of the big things they're gonna talk about is the only way up and down of the mountain is the staircase. Which means our defendant is the only one who can have been there and left, because she was the one that had the clothing to the right there. But here is the thing. We have a person who is escaped, which is a paratrooper. He is a former paratrooper escaped from a prison, which is on top of the mountain to the right, which is where the dead body is. Not only that, there is this thing, which clearly does look like a homemade parachute. So, easily to say. How to enter? Easy. You jump from the goddamn prison. That's not too much difficult to try and figure out. How he left though, I am guessing. He used some sort of zipline from the right mountain to the left, because the left mountain is lower. And he could just have walked past. No problem at all. No one checks the mountain to the left. And yes, we're gonna have to figure out why would anyone want the High Priest to not be there, especially someone that is supposed to be a vigilante, I would call it. Well, technically they call them a hero, but a vigilante. But the reason is because they didn't want the praying to be done. Because that was the only time the parachuter would jump down. Don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. I am not gonna... Who is talking? Why are you in here? Bugger off. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this. You shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurs last time. The funny part is, I love this series. And I played this game when it came out the first time, but I was probably a bit young, so I didn't really realize everything. I was just playing for fun. Now I realize how effed up their religion kinda is. Like, I cannot absolutely understand praying for a holy mother and doing all that, but the way they work in court is that she sees what the dead person sees, say exactly what she believes is right, and then they go with that. And most of the times they basically execute people. And that's also why there is no defense attorneys here, because they believe them to be unholy. And if we lose, then we also lose. Basically, we get the same sentence as the person we're trying to defend. And the worst, well, something I really don't like is her way of saying, because we managed to win over her last time. And she always have the comment of, this time, I am gonna win. I was like, it doesn't fucking matter if you win or not, because if you win, you might send an innocent person to their death. And I'm pretty certain your goddamn holy mother does not want to have anything to do with that fucked up thing. So yes. They have a good religion with the thought of how to think, but not how to act. The moment she's found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found. The truth, you say? And it seems you have chosen your fate. Yeah, I have. Have you chosen yours already? This shall be your very last trial. Against you, I hope. Nick. I'm going to prove you innocent, Mike. You'll just see. After all, we have to introduce the plumed Punisher, War of the Neon Twilight Realm, to the folks back home, right? Right. I may be defendant this time, but I'll be by your side, like always, Nick. Thanks, man. This place is tough on lawyers. I need all the help I can get. Plus, it's always good to have you on the Plus, it's always good to have you on the team. Me and words. Well, it's time. Let's go. I'm still trying to figure out what my father says sometimes. My father says I'm scarily smart sometimes, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what do you mean by that? Like, I don't feel I'm that smart. I feel like I know stuff, like a little thing of here, a little thing of there. Well. Alright, also this guy. Good lord, I forgot about him. He is the worst of them all, because he is always gonna basically point finger to the accused and blame us of being against the Holy Mother. Let the trial of Maya Fey begin. I'm also trying to figure out how to make a voice that is not like the courtroom back at American this game. Defense is ready, Your Honor, Majesty. Also, I'm calling this man a sad man because I can't pronounce yeah, you see what I mean. And basically his last name is Sadmadi, so I just call him Sad Man. That's the only thing I can pronounce here right now. Most of these people actually have puns for their name. For example, this guy, Albi Urgeid. Basically, I'll be your guide. This one I kinda hate, because it is trust in me. You can trust me. But with the thought of the word we had last week, it basically is, you can't have an H in there. Because it actually sounds like thrust in me, like that, no. I am gonna be haunted by that, I'm never gonna forget that. Also, I've haunted now chat with this once again, and it is gonna be brought up again. Just open your mouth, or at least breathe. No, I thought he was... I don't know. Great, the trial's barely started and the judge is already mad at me. He's very devoted for a prosecutor. That's the problem. He is not a prosecutor. Well, he is, and he has traveled the world to learn about prosecution in different countries. The only problem is he had learned shit. He basically just introduced his own beliefs into other people. Why is the accused standing over there? Oh, well... Old habits. Your Majesty, in addition to being the accused, she's also my assistant. The accused is your assistant, you say? Ah, very well. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner for a lawyer with a defiled soul. You're still saying that, and we managed to show you an innocent person last time. I do love the ignorance of this bit. Well, I don't really love it, but I love how ignorant they are anyway. Because they haven't even thought of redeeming themselves of, oh, we pointed fingers towards a little kid who basically is gonna be executed. Oh, you managed to show us they actually are innocent. Oh well. Like, mate. That wasn't very nice. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyers seem to be a custom of sorts here in Kurain. I must say, I'm surprised to see you still here in Kurain, Mr. Wright. And even more to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life in yet another trial. The answer is simple, Your Majesty. I am a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Although, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. Oh, I can definitely agree to that one. God, I'm pretty certain this guy could basically be in any other country being a lawyer, other than here. Such foolishness. Prosecutor Sadman. Are you ready to begin now? Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. But first, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked soul into the fires of hell. You mean like the last time you tried to do that and realized, oh, I was fucking wrong. You apparently have learned shit from your travels. Thus, the soul of the victim attains salvation. Splendid. I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Sadman. Yeah, because they all believe that the only way of saving the innocent soul is basically to send the accused down in hell. They must have a lot of spirits being pissed at them. I just realized, like they have the belief, and not just a belief, but actually the power of talking to spirits, especially Maya here. And if they is like, we are gonna give the spirits rest by taking the accused down, the one who killed them, and they just take some innocent, like the spirit must haunt this goddamn place. Like, dear, I just realized that. I have not really played too much of that, but I believe I got a game that is kind of meh called Cursed Mountain? Haunted Mountain? Something like that. It's basically like, there is some sort of like mountain village and it's just completely gone and everyone is not there and they're just full of ghosts. I believe like something's gonna happen here soon with that. The spirits are pissed at these people because they haven't found the real person yet. Except once, which when we did something. I'm not surprised by your words or stance, considering what Apollo's told me about you. So it was you who instilled that putrid laurelly guile within him. Putrid what? He too must soon face the fires, lest his soul lost to redemption. Wait, he won. And not only he won, he managed to show you who was the real goddamn victim, like murderer. And you still is here like, oh no, he's beyond salvation. But I shall send you on ahead, so that he will not be lonely when he arrives. Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be easy. People say I never know when to give up. Nervous, Maya? A little. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. Too bad I'm the defendant. Don't worry. We haven't lost a case together yet. You're right. Let's give this everything we got. Did that hammer spawn in a bit late? I don't know why, but I think my eyes just be wrong or not. I'm a bit uncertain. Now then, Prosecutor Sadman, would you please explain the case at hand? Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin the last rites of the victim. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. The victim of her heinous crimes was the High Priest Tharus. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain. The cause of death? Let us review the victim's autopsy report and the crime scene photo, shall we? Yeah, we already have this one. The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the war-butt dagger, which was used in the riot. They say most likely because they never found it, and I already know what it is. Not because I played this game once, but because basically I have heard he hugged the statue because it was still praying while it was dying. That thing is covered in blood, and if he was stabbed away from it, it would not be that much blood on it, which means that was the murder weapon. However, the dim weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched. A sacred relic used as a tool of murder. The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe. I don't know why, I feel like I'm making this guy sound British. I don't know why. I think it's like something with a dialect. The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had done and laid a Kivra's sacred rites, and the victim was there to offer prayer as a high priest of Kurain's. Yeah, we have a broken lantern there as well. It might have been that the parachuter just smacked the lantern and then smacked into the victim. And just went him flying straight into the warbird. During the riot, the victim and the accused were the only two at the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey. I already have proof enough to like show that people have been able to go in, go out, and have nothing to deal with it. I must say, that does cast a great suspicion upon the accused. Indeed. Now, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case. Do we have an autopsy report already? I don't think we have. In Kuranism, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya Fey's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of hell. The hell of tickling. Alright. Whatever floats your boat. $500 million years. I am pretty certain to have a tickle that got tired after that long. That is a terrible fate indeed. Would the defense care to respond? And here I thought the lowest level of hell was hell of back pain. I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it. As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the high priest in the first place. I thought you might say that. Nevertheless, the meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here, in the Hall of Justice. Wait, so what you're saying is like, you might say there is no motive, but whatever you say doesn't mean shit. For all will be made clear by her benevolence Raifa Padma Kurain's insight. So it is, and so it shall be. The divination Zeons reveals the truth for all to see. This is the only thing like I can agree with. They have a seance to be able to see what the person saw, felt, smelled, heard in the last moment of their death. I can absolutely agree with that, because that is solid proof. The only thing I can't agree with is whatever this princess say she sees is supposed to be the truth. That is why she's pissed at us, because we basically have said, oh, you see that thing there? You just said something that doesn't match up with what we saw. That's basically why she's so pissed at us, because apparently her insight At the same time, she's 14. She's a teen. She's a brat. So, yeah, I don't think she takes anything seriously. Violet, please show in the royal priestess. She might act as an adult, but she is far from an adult. Rest assured, good people of the Kurain, I will defeat this murderer and her abbot. The only thing I kind of like here is whenever she does that with the staff, because it's something that is kind of satisfying with the, like the sound of those rings. Was that just me? They shall not escape on their freedom expressed today. Right. She actually had no goddamn clue what we meant with that last week. I actually had to ask her, I don't know what she is for something, assistant, what it actually meant. And now she actually used it because to show like I have learned what it means. Ah, what a joy it is to have the royal priestess back into the Hall of Justice. May the Holy Mother grant us her divine favor. Dihara Kurain. Do understand something, Judge. After everything that have happened, and you people have not even realized that you have might sent tons of innocent people to either prison or their death. I don't think anyone here has actually the favor of the Holy Mother any longer. She sure looks pleased with herself. Especially someone who didn't know what a Freedom Express was until yesterday. To be fair, I kinda know what it means, but I don't know where it comes from. Is there something stuck to my face, Barbedhead? Yes, whatever that mark on your forehead is. I know you told us last week, but I don't give a damn. Nope, nothing, your benevolence. Ah, now then, your benevolence. The divination seance, if you please. Wait, are you gonna do the dance each time? Because I'm pretty certain I actually do dig the song of this. Very well. Nina. Wait, is Nina another sort of name for nanny? Except that, oh, I was about to say it's the same thing backwards. This is not. It's just that it continues. And yes, Nina is basically the person I was talking about before.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped.
Also, this is probably some of the first times in these games they actually have voice acting whenever they have this. The other time I've seen voice acting where they have the like anime cutscenes. That's about it.
O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Oh yeah, they are gonna do these songs. I kinda dig this song, I don't know why. It kind of reminds me of like a song from a horror game, but that was a really shit horror game, unfortunately. Alright, so what did the guy see? I'm pretty certain what he saw most was basically the statue. I think he might have turned around. So first he saw the robe, which Maya wore. Then he turns around and see the warbard. Yep, praying to one side. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm pretty certain they talked about like praying to east or west or something. I don't remember. Yeah, so they see Maya. He reads. Yeah. He can hear wind. Maya has now that thing. Footsteps. That's... No, wait a second. How the hell did she move that fast? I might be wrong then about the statue, but I feel that is way too odd. Because Maya was there a second and then she changed. Like, nah, that's way too fucking fast. Oh, the victim's mythama has spoken. The Venetia seance is complete. Great. Another clearly incriminating seance vision. It could not be any clearer. Oh, foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Kira and then attacked the victim. Well, first of all, it looked like the thing in front of him basically just slid forward. Second of all, that was a quick change. If they just say, damn, that is just normal, then wow. I can definitely understand in a sense, because they spend like 15 hours a day just praying. So I'm pretty certain the only time they have time to change is like 30 seconds. Oh, how very terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Kira lit against the dim lantern light. The scent of incense growing... No, wait a second. Wait a second. I didn't see it. I didn't see that he smelled incense. Because yes, that robe to his right there, it smelled a lot. We know that. The princess knows that, or her benevolence knows that. Because she basically was following us all goddamn day because we tamper with evidence. But I didn't see that he smelled incense, which means that that is not the same... That is not the same robe. The sense of incense growing even more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horror Abbot Inme must have felt. The facts as presented by her benevolence are indisputable. But that wasn't me. Do something, Nick. I'm working on it. Please, just let him speak. Otherwise, we're probably just gonna have like some sort of... I was about to say arrow through our knee or something, but to be honest, the bailiffs here have like AKs, so I think that would be worse. That wouldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle. Yeah, not fully. I'm gonna have to check again, because I didn't see any increase of incense. The footsteps, yes, someone moved. I don't know who moved, because if the person in front moved, then damn, they run like me. I am not joking. In school once, we were supposed to animate running, so we were like in group of 3 and had to film each other running. My fucking running was not like, you know, like when you run, you can see like the head going up, down, and stuff like that. I don't know why I'm animating myself by doing this. You cannot see that. But when I was running, my height was fucking straight forward. My head did not move. It was like, sure, my head moved forward, but it didn't move up and down. I have no idea. I was like a bird when they fly, when the head is just like still in the goddamn air. I have no idea what it is, but apparently I am part bird. come to think of it, the rites guide explain the multi-part purification rite in detail. Let me check this then, just in case. Case. Yeah, so priest, priestess, so that is why they believe that is Maya, because that is where the priestess is supposed to be, but they don't really think that far ahead. 3-part ceremony. It begins transformation, right? The priest reads the scripture while the priest is done the robe of Lady Kira, which have been purified with incense, yeah. And next is the rite of water. Okay, so we basically only did this. We didn't go as far as these ones. Okay. Thank you for going back here. The transformation. The high priest reads scripture while a priest dons the robes of Lady Kira. Rite of water. Lady Kira enters the spring and the high priest purifies her, along with her dagger. The rite of fire. The priestess circles the sacred flame to purify her soul. Indeed. It would seem that the murderer occurred during the transformation rite. The rite dictates that the high priest stand in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern. Well, Barbed Head, would you care to object? Not yet. Of course, because I know my client is innocent. So you say you truly don't know when you are beaten, do you? Do anyone else in here understand when they are beaten? Because I'm getting the feeling you just say that to me, but apparently no one else here has ever managed to realize that. Managed to pull it off last time with Albe. I just have to do it again. You intend to find fault with her benevolence inside yet again? It would seem lawyers are Hulkulan creatures indeed. What exactly is a Pulkulan? Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak. Thank you for the good translation. Apparently I'm a piece of work. They can tell me anything they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth. So, Barbed Head, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? Your so-called truth? Oh, you don't know what truth really is, do ya? I do love like to see truth as in who is right and who is wrong, because truth is not a thing. Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave. How many graves am I gonna have to dig then? Because I already dug once and that's already been covered in mud again, because that was apparently a useless grave. We're using that now as a farm. Anyone want a tomato? The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing the to the lanterns and reading the sutra. Yeah, we did see that. As the first part, the transformation rite, ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life blood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed from our world. That is everything the victim experiences in the final moment. Yeah, sure he did. Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Kira, and the accused rushed to the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. Yes, it is plain for you all to see. No, it wasn't for me. A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on the Lady Kira robes. You waste your time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truth revealed by the royal priestess' divine insight. How did you end up finding contradictions last time? Simple. We just listen to what she says and hope for the best that she's just a brat that doesn't know what she's saying. Oh no, yeah, there is incense. Alright. Deceased final memories include all 5 senses. Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the pool of souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim. Yeah, that's how it looked to me too. The sensations themselves are never wrong. Only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out many mistakes Rafa's insight the last time. Oh, so there could be contradictions between the Abbot Immis felt and her insights, huh? Yeah, that's the problem with her insights. Like, yeah, the spirit never lies because that is his last moments. But she lies because she has no fucking idea what she's talking about. You got it. And I'm going to find them this time too. Did I check... I'm okay. I already did it last time. I remember that it works. Still, the sensation this time seems to fluctuate more than the ones from Albi's trial. In which case, I'd better keep an eye on changing their intensity. Okay, time to point out these sensations that contradicts the insights. Wait, were there 2 different things, or is like the text together with the image? It doesn't matter. Yeah, it commands the purification, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, so it's 2 different things. So he reads. It puts this down. He can hear the wind. Huh. Okay, here is what I think is interesting. Look at the last one here again. I think it bugged out or something. You see the footsteps? They never change. The incense is being more, but the footsteps never change. Okay, hold on. At the first part, yeah... Also, I'm gonna check something. So, basically... He... Wait, is it now? So, he bows to that one. Yeah, he bows to that one. You see the one to the right there, the lantern. Then we fast forward a bit to this part. You see the lantern now seems to be broken, but it wasn't before. Okay. So, apparently the incense is still the same. Accused footsteps approaching. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We are gonna go to fast forward once more. Play and pause and select. The sound. The footsteps are not approaching.
Objection!
I was right. It looked weird. He didn't actually she didn't get closer to him. He get closer to her. The victims supposedly heard the accused approach footsteps, but did he really? What nonsense is this? Is it not that abundantly clear? No, it's not, because there is something strange about those footsteps. Strange? Explain yourself, Bobhead. The footsteps are strange because they don't get louder. They're not getting any louder. What exactly does that matter? Simple. If you hear someone running closer to you, you're probably gonna shit yourself when you realize they're just behind you. But if it doesn't get closer, you might just have to look down and see if you're walking. Please focus your attention on the incense victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Why? That makes perfect sense! How can this be explained, your benevolence? Simple. The abbot moved. Well, there must be a reason.
Objection!
Oh, good lord, could you just... Does they say, even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn? What's that even mean? Yeah, even I understand what it means. Like, I turn sometimes in my bed when I'm sleeping, but that doesn't make me a worm. What are you talking about? He's not exactly singing your praise, that's for sure. Well, that's something I could have realized quickly. But yes. Still, we cannot discount this information so solely on account of its lawyerly source. Your benevolence. Perhaps you must listen more carefully to the abbot's mitama. Listen more carefully? What are you talking about? Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation? I can more accurately gauge their sensations by deepening my communication with the Mithama. So you mean that you just half-assed this shit just to get it done? Oh, boy! I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before? Because apparently they don't give a goddamn shit, I guess. By refining the sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered. Okay, yeah, you do it then. Oh, wait a second. So that might be that there is... It could be that it actually doesn't see bells. Oh. Wait, that just helps us. What? Wait, prosecution. Sorry, but I do love, like, the sound of footsteps doesn't get louder. What does that even mean? We in our own head. That means he is the one moving. Everyone else, we do not know what it means yet. But we can refine the senses. We can. Goes from footsteps to bells. Why does it go to bells? Because he have big ass cowbells on his ankles. That's why it means footsteps. So to put it simply, he just shows us she is not moving. He is. Just as we thought of. Bells, but the only bells at the scene of the crime were... that jingling must have come from Abbot Inme's bells. Yeah, those things on his ankles. Got them cowbells. You mean those things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. Yeah. Thanks. What exactly did you try to prove against us? The sound of bells was from the high priest's own footsteps. Then, that means... if the footsteps belong to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. The victim was the one who went running towards the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence inside would have us believe. Sorry, I had to back-to-back phone calls. No problem at all. No problem at all, Gloomy. If people need to lurk or just want to lurk, that's absolutely fine. We're just dealing with some weird-ass shit here right now. Apparently they tried to prove something against us, and it apparently didn't prove shit. But no problem at all. No problem at all. If people need to do stuff or need to lurk and stuff, absolutely no issue. Well, I still love this. Yeah, the goddamn murderer came closer to the victim. Yeah, but the footstep doesn't change. It means he was the one moving, not the murderer. We are not gonna know that yet. We just have to refine the senses. Oh, footsteps changed to his cowbells. Yeah, he was the one moving. Thank you for helping us. But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe he was trying to defend himself. Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked. Yes, because we was actually... poor one. Not really, it was actually like blackmailed by Kira. We know that because he got this letter that told him don't do the goddamn right, which comes from this thing, which comes from this thing, which is her arrow. Still your voices, this is nothing but a theory, a poor one at that. You're not led by astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation.
Objection!
I don't think I've ever heard that word before. What does that even mean? Pretty certain it's something. Well, his insolence is inexcusable. While his innocence is excusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, your benevolence. Is there something you care to say, Prosecutor Sadman? Even if it was about Inmate who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting. Hold on, I'm gonna check something. Do they actually have the dagger as well? Which is the priestess enters the priest Lady Kira, and the high priest purifies both Lady Kira and her dagger. Yeah, okay, so there's supposed to be a dagger there somewhere. The accused was likely waiting for the high priest to approach. You talking about me having bad theories? What is that for something? Yeah, I'm gonna murder you. Now come here. Who the hell would actually answer that call? And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It is simple as that. Oh, right, it really doesn't change much, does it? Except it sounds stupid as shit. Yes, it is as the prosecutor said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well. Right, and that's why you were so shocked when you first heard of it. Understand now, lawyer, that contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Are you sure it still doesn't mean shit? Once I hone my insight, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun. Yeah, don't worry. He rushed to the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Yeah, alright. See, the fact that it was Abbot Inmate who moved changed nothing. Well, not now, perhaps, because yes, he still died, and he probably still died by the dagger, but you are walking on thin ice right now. That contradiction I pointed out must have meant something. It did, just not just yet. Wait for a moment. That one sensation changed after the priest's rifle for finer vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. I should focus any sensation that I had that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them on her inside. Okay. Well, if something more changed, it's probably gonna be good enough here. All right. So, what's going on here? Okay, so there isn't really much happening here, I guess. He's just praying to that. That lantern still seemed to be good. I don't know, because apparently he needs glasses. Wind, the lantern is broken, we know that. Wait, water? Hey, whoa, wait, hold on here. I think I'm right. It's just that for some reason... Ah, okay. I understand now. The spirits can lie, but it's more of a sense of... Oh, god damn, what am I looking at? Because the water, I think it means like this. I think I'm right. He hears bells because he's the one moving, but he hears water. And that is why, and the reason why is basically because he moves towards the statue. I think I'm right. Because above the statue is a big-ass image of the priestess, basically. The Kira. Okay, let's see if we can find something in the thing here. The victim commands the purification rite, bowing to lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part of the information rite ended, alone with Satan, suddenly he rushed the accused to try to fight her off by the broken lantern. It was when the victim felt intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. His lifeblood spilled over, his vision dimmed, and finally passed our world. Because here's the weird thing. There is the broken lantern there. Oh, no, not that. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, water. Hold on here a second. I'm like there is something I'm gonna have to figure out here. Does he ever move, like, turn around? He gets transformation, right? The high priest reads the scripture while priestess doesn't purifies an incense. Next is the rite of water, in which the priestess enter the spring dressed as Lady Kira, and the high priest purifies both Kira and her dagger. The ceremony ends with a rite of fire, in which the priest circles the sacred. Interesting. But which one would this be? Okay, so we can't use any sort of... Can we use any chord record? No, we can't use any chord record. We need to find something that doesn't feel right. But most of these are basically no senses. No senses, no senses. Here is basically where the senses start. And it basically is wind, which doesn't really mean much. We just see that the broken lantern is there. Which is fine enough. And then we play again. He does that, and bells because he's moving. Incense is getting stronger because of the robe. But here, there is water. The problem is the water. That is why, for example, he said footsteps before, because it was his footsteps, but not what sound it made. The victim commands the purification rite by blowing. Yeah. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Okay, I'm gonna do this by this one, because the other one... Okay, I'm gonna do this. I think I might be completely wrong, but I hope not. Because that's the moment of death in her voice. Hold it. How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbot Inme wouldn't have adhered to them. Well, that's strange. Listen, right? Would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes. I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. Oh, damn. It takes some time to load this one. The sound of bells changed to the sound of water at one point. What's this? It's simple. The victim must have stopped and stepped in some water. Oh. Yes, and the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies a contradiction. What contradiction? I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Paul Conker, that is absurd. This means accused locations difference from what her benevolence insight indicates. Then, where do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. Well, there basically. Do you really believe the accused was standing there? Oh. Well, that was probably a bit too far up. Sorry. Keep making a statement like that, Mr. Wright, and I'll have your tongue. You have said that so many times now. I'm pretty certain I have, like, tongues like a cat, 9 of them. What girl wouldn't like that? Sorry, I had to make that joke. Sometimes they just pop out and I should stop them. There we go. But yeah, she stood in the water. Until this moment, we all just assumed that Abbot Inmei and Miss Faye were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in this rights guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is that the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Faye had actually been standing in the water. But if this is true, then the positions should have completely reversed. Yeah, I know. That's the whole point we managed to figure out. What is going on here, Miss Faye? Were you really standing in the spring? I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite. Yeah, it is even possible because she's a... Oh, right, was she also like... Who said that? Like, right, the brat. Be that it may, this does not overturn my insight. It doesn't? Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reversed their position is what? That their position's difference from what is customary is rather curious. However, that doesn't change. What does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. Yeah, no one really understands how killing someone works, right? Because this goddamn thing here, Dawn is not covered in blood, the statue is. I guess you have a point there. I am feeling I already have gotten this. Like, other than these small parts I have to figure out beforehand, because that's something with me. I can be a few steps ahead. The problem is to get to where I already am. Like, for example, before, water. Where am I supposed to put that? Because I feel like I know already what's going on, but where exactly is that? You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead. I'm already thinking ahead a lot. I already know where the murder weapon is. And it was straight in front of your own face, you know. Sounds like Princess Raifa has pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. Oh, Maya. Where would I be without your brutal, frank commentary right now? Is this contradiction really meaningless? I know. I know what happened. Okay, so basically I remember Maya say something that he often was looking up while they were at the right site. And that's because it's a prison up there. And yeah, he was worried about something gonna happen because he was already blackmailed. Well, not blackmailed, but warned. So I think he was looking up to see if there was something happening. And that's why he saw Akira, or that's why we see Akira in the vision. Because he was looking up at the big ass key. Wait, hold on. Do we have an image of that? I think we should have. Yeah, you see that image there. We have a Kira image. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? You did not. Don't worry about that. You are fine. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the pool side lantern. By the poolside lantern. Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it. What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright? Nick! Apparently he just stands there. Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but her benevolence insight have no further inadequacies of any kind. I do believe I said that word wrong. So it would seem. Wait a second, but there is another contradiction. Stop sighing like that. Like you don't even do anything here. Still, you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come to it. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out there. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause new discrepancies with Priestess Rife's insight. That's right. We now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record. Oh, wait, diagram? This one, there we go. Yeah. So he moved up there. Yeah, Yep, okay. I think, well, if he is trying to tell me that there's a statue there, I already know. And then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions on the inside. Well, if I can see the inside first, it might actually help me a bit. So the victim commenced purification rite by bowing down to the lanterns, reading the sutra. As the first part of restoration ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he rushed the accused, tried to fight her off in the spring side lantern. It was then that the victim felt an immense pain. I believe this was when he was stabbed. Trying to figure out something. Wind. There's nothing wrong with the image now, that's the problem. The only thing that is changed is this. It was then that the victim... Oh, no, here. He rushed the accused to try to fight her off by the spring side lantern. Spring side lantern. I believe it. I just think of something here. I don't believe it. As she says, the first part he lowered the sutra. I don't think he lowered it. You know what I think? I think he looked up. He didn't lower this thing, he looked up. Well, at the same time, it is a lantern there, so I guess... Wait, hold on. How many lanterns are there in this place? I know there are those 4, but are there other lanterns? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so incense, water, pain. Okay. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, Lona Sutra suddenly rushed, accused, and tried to fight her off by the spring side lantern. Which is a spring side lantern? There's 2 of them. There's basically the left one and the right one. Here is as I say. I'm a few steps ahead. The problem is I have yet to figure out how to get to where I am. It was when the victim felt intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his lifeblood spilled over, his vision dimmed and finally passed out from our world. Yeah, so okay, so this is basically the only place there is stuff happening. So we have bells, incense, water, pain. Okay. The only problem I have to find here is what exactly is a discrepancy with all this? The only thing I can think of is that there is not enough space, but I can't say shit like that right now, because the only thing I can do is check what sense... Wait, hold on. What exactly can I do? Scythe, okay. Okay, so the whole goddamn thing is scythe. Fair enough. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring-side lantern. It was then that the victim felt immense pain. I believe this is when it was stabbed. Yeah. Hello, the sutra suddenly... Next is the rite of water, which is the priestess enters the spring dressed as Lady Kira, and the high priest purifies both Lady Kira and her dagger. The ceremony ends with the rite of fire. The 2 of the devotees held prayer until rite comes to close 2 days. Basically, the whole thing is a fancy way of Lady Kira to take a bath once a year. Right, I forgot that this is actually Maya's notes. Yeah, Inconsistencies here. The only thing I can think of as an inconsistency is that this is not transformation, right? But that doesn't really make... Doesn't make sense? What changed was this. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring-side lantern. I can't say much about fighting off, because the vision doesn't really tell us much about fighting or anything. The incense did increase, and there is water. There is pain when he was stabbed. I'm gonna try this. I'm probably wrong about that. I'm probably definitely wrong about that. Yeah, I am. Okay. I don't know why I'm trying to like go on ahead, and then my brain is like, hold on, we have to do this first, and I'm sitting here like, oh fuck. Okay, what's there must be a consistency here. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring-side lantern. Should I like do... I'm trying to like find a place to do this. Should I do Scythe? Because we don't see... We don't see the accused. We see Kira. Fuck it, let's do it. We see Kira, so that might be a problem. No. God damn it. I am not doing so good. I've already figured out everything except to actually get there. It's like me. Oh, I have planned out my vacation. I'm gonna go here, here, and here. Okay, which roads do you take? Huh? Don't you just teleport there? Alright. So, what's the problem here? The problem is, like, this is the only thing that changed. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the Springside lantern. Bells, 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 water, water, incense, and pain. Vacation rite is a 3-part ceremony. Yeah, it begins with transformation. The priest reads the scripture while the priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira, which had been purified with incense. And next is the rite. Okay, so I am missing something. Yeah, it is fair enough to say I'm missing something, but I am missing something. The problem is, what am I missing? He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the Springside lantern. The wind. Do we have anything that tells us anything about the wind? That's wait, Maya's statement. The spring water was already stained red when we arrived to the sanctum the day of the rite. That doesn't mean much right now. Curtain around the perimeter of the sanctum, isolating it from the outside world. The entrance was shut during the rite. Should that stop the wind? Letter found in the sanctum. Giant bloodstain, possible to read. Blood loss from abdomen delivered by weapon. I am kind of trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, let's read this from the beginning. The victim commenced purification rite by blowing the lanterns and reading the sutra. As the first part transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring lantern. It was then that the victim felt immense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. His lifeblood spilled all over, his vision dimmed, will finally pass from our world. But where like the only thing I think of is also like the wind. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring lantern. Everything else here doesn't have something that doesn't fit, because basically the image is the same as before. The only thing she's changed is he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the Springside lantern. But where? Okay, I am kinda confused here. Bells, 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 water. Yeah, and the incense is stronger because she stood there. But she wouldn't be able to stand there, right? Because it's too little space.
Objection!
I'm just gonna do this. I don't think that's right either. Because the only thing I can think of is by the Springside Lantern. But it's not by the Springside Lantern, it is in the water. How is it that somehow I can figure out exactly where I'm supposed to go, but I don't know which goddamn road to get there? I am confused by myself. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the Springside Lantern. It was then that the victim felt an immense pain. Lewis was stabbed. As his lifeblood spilled all over, his vision dimmed until finally he passed from all world. Yeah, okay, so that's kind of true. And that is also kind of true. Okay, so let's go check here. Let's check one by one here. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lantern and reading the sutra. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra suddenly. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her. Is there something wrong here, perhaps? Because that, as the first part of the transformation rite ended. Is there something with the wind? There isn't really much changed here. Like, the only thing they changed is that he rushed her by the Springside Lantern. I'm just gonna do the win. I don't care right now. I basically have like one try left, and I have no clue what I'm trying to do here. Which sense is it I'm looking for? Alright. Anyone in chat has any ideas? Because yeah, apparently the defense is gonna die as well. Yeah, that's apparently something they have in this this goddamn country. Resume from this scene. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what it is. The incense is getting stronger, which means he is getting close to her. The footsteps goes from bells to water, which means he's going towards the water. Fighting her off. I can't say much about fighting her off. It basically is like either he knows how to fight or he's just flinging his arms around, which I don't know if he does or does not. So that doesn't really matter either. But there isn't much that has changed, so I don't know if I'm looking in the... I don't think I look at the right direction. Wait, where are we, by the way? Yeah, Springside Lantern, so we are here. But the problem is, I feel it's supposed to be here. Because this is the only thing that changed, which means, can you see any new descriptions? But there isn't much to see. Okay, let's play this from the beginning. He opened his eyes, looking at Maya. Bows to one lantern. Bows to another lantern. Picks up the scripture. The wind comes, and he sees her. And then he begins to move. Okay. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. Yes, that definitely happens. As the first part of his purification rite ended, he lowered the sutra, and suddenly, that's we know basically happened as well. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the Springside Lantern. It was then that the victim felt an immense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his lifeblood spilled over, his vision dimmed as finally passed our world. And yeah, that also happens. But why is it still pain and no incense? Okay, this is the only thing I can think of. Is like a lot of incense. It still feels pain. Incense gone. Now pain gone. But personally, it doesn't really mean much, right? I am actually really confused now. I'm just gonna do this.
Objection!
The smell is still there. Which I believe they're just gonna say no to. Yeah. Can I skip? Oh yeah, I can skip, good. I actually don't know what I'm looking for. I know I'm looking for the difference between the vision and her voice. But right now I can't really find anything. As his lifeblood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed from our world. The thing is, that's exactly what's happened. So I would say, like, this is he rushed the accused, tried to fight her off the Springside Lantern. Yes, by the water. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. Yes. And then, as his lifeblood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally passed from our world. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue. I'm gonna have to check this up. I am a bit lost, actually, not gonna lie. I really hate doing this stuff like this, but I really want to know. It's just, I don't know. I am looking for something, I just don't... It's there! It is there, I just don't know what I'm looking for. It's like, it is staring me in the goddamn face. And I know it is, because each time I do shit like this, it always happens. Inside. The victim commenced purification rite. Okay. Inner sanctum diagram. Footsteps goes to Belsey. Rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Already changed that. To rush the accused and try to fight her off by the poolside lantern. On the new third segment and fourth panel, select the lantern side while the wind sound. Okay, so yeah, that is true, because it still is the broken lantern. I don't know why I didn't even try of that. I kind of just agreed it was by that lantern, there. But the problem is, when the wind is here, it is actually like blowing. Which makes sense, because this is the only one that is broken. There is only one that is broken. I don't know, like, for some reason my brain didn't try to figure that out. It was like, oh yeah, it's fine. Why did I forget about the lantern? I told you, it's gonna stare me in the face. I know there is only one broken lantern. We see it in the diagram down there to the left. So why did I just accept that, oh, yeah, he's just going forward? No, he's still looking at the broken lantern. That doesn't make sense. Your benevolence, I found a new contradiction. You did. No doubt it's about but another of your vile attempts to slander my insight. Nope, take a good look at the victim's song. It's just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind has stirred. Except that they are supposed to burn forever. And if they flicker, that's a bad thing. No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring... Oh, yeah, now we go back here. Then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue. I fail to see your point. My point is something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. She seems pretty ticklish. I don't remember saying anything funny. I fail to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. Alright, fair enough. I'm glad you do that. I don't know why you don't do that in the first place. Like, good lord, I would never trust you. I'm not joking, like, if she needs to do this like 3 times, I would not fucking trust anything here. Huh? That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it. And rightly so. But the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within for the rite of fire. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flicker. Well, that was something we could know about. But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on. That's because the police put them back on. The sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, the fellows. We cannot risk them being extinguished, even during an investigation. Wow, tampering with the crime scene, what the fuck? That would never fly back home. Nah, that would basically be tampering with the crime scene, and that is fucking illegal as hell. Well, Barbed Head, are you done quibbling? No, because now you changed his vision. He doesn't need glasses anymore. If so, then it's time to bow down before this testimony of the myth. Nick, don't worry, Maya. I'm just getting started. All right, let's get over everything we know so far. So, Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. The priest is thought to have been moving towards her. So I should look for sensations that stands in contradiction to this argument. I won't give up. Yeah, but now we changed the vision. So what exactly changed in the vision? Because last time they changed the sound. So now they changed the vision. What exactly do we see? Okay, so... Oh yeah, his vision is clear now. He doesn't need glasses, I think. So that is that one, yeah. That is the broken one, yeah. It takes up this thing, and it does look like it turns around while reading. So, we already know them. So, wind, the flickering there. Wait, has anything even changed? Okay, the only thing I can think of here is this. The broken statue. As the part of the transformation route ended low with etc., suddenly he rushed the accused, tried to fight her off by the springside lantern. Yeah, the problem here is that this is the broken lantern.
Objection!
What could this possibly mean? And I'm pretty certain she's not capable of, like, zoom around 180 from him. What could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the insight. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. Are you alright, Mr. Wright? 1 minute you shout out, and then the next you fall silent. Perhaps it's like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Sadman? I think he's actually expecting something. Because, yeah, this guy is meant to be the one that has predicted the whole case beforehand. And he knows I know something and waiting for it. He's not gonna say, yeah, he doesn't know shit. Because he knows I know shit. Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you built so far, the only way it is to keep moving forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Hold on, I wanna check something. How much of the goddamn, like, statue is actually bloody? I just realized that. Yeah, the whole statue is bloody, so... Sorry, but I'm not going barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I found. Is that so? The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken. And if you watch that Abbot Inmis saw in his final moments... I don't know if this is the game on my Switch, because I know that I fixed my fan on my Switch and I managed to fuck up the SD card reader a bit. Because it feels like somehow some games are like a bit slower or something. But I don't know if it is me or like just the game itself. You will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Faye is broken. I just love how much data it takes to figure that out. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. In short, we're seeing two different lanterns in the Sean's vision. How could this be? And even if it were so, how could that contradict my insight? Let me start by saying the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case I built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? Based on the broken lantern, we can tell Maya and Abbot Inme's position. Where the accused and the victim were standing. But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premises. But thankfully, it has led us here. to the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. I must say, if the defense keeps changing this position in such a captious manner, it is credibly may come into question. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing. Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was still standing. Based on the latter procedure, the location of the broken lantern where Maya really is standing, I believe that Isn't that where she stood? I don't know. Apparently she must be closer to him or something. I believe that they are gonna say that she pushed him. I know at least where to go, sort of. I need to think about the location. I know about the location. Well, sort of. Let me check this thing. I might just like fucking misaimed or something. Because I think she stood right, yeah. Yeah, wasn't she standing like here?
Take that!
No? Okay, I'm confused. Where did she stand there? Is it further up? If it's further up, that's stupid.
Take that!
There? Oh god, it was just further up. Okay. I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the waters as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to, according to the custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No, that's the problem. He turned around. No, this is where things take a different turn. And I mean that literally. The victim had to have been moving towards the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned towards the accused. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the Seon's vision. Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed until now. Yeah, when it takes up to Sudden etc., you can basically see him turn around a bit. No one noticed, but how could no one have noticed something so big? There was a moment when the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was in fact turning around in that moment.
Objection!
If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence inside no longer makes sense. How do you intend to explain that?
Objection!
I don't need to explain anything, because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Sadman. Her benevolence inside don't make any sense, because they contain a huge error. Such insolence! A huge error, you say? Do explain. The huge error is the order of the rite, the number of people, the crimes, the order of rights? I guess the number of people there? I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. That's when he was stabbed. This cannot be. Oh, but it can, and it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind this testimony of the dead. Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime? I have misunderstood the voices of the Mythma yet again. Ah, she's fainting again. Whenever the kid contradicts something she's supposed to know, she just faints. Phew, that was a close one, but I managed to dive the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. Wonderful. Your benevolence. Please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Yes, I shall place my trust in you. I don't care if she looks sad. Like, if she's just doing this to win, I don't really give a goddamn about it. Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Sadman? My works as an international prosecutor have taken me to courtrooms around the world, and I have learned shit. I'm gonna say that he has learned absolutely nothing, because the only way he does things is the way to do things here. It basically says the accused is always gonna be the accused, and the Holy Mother is always gonna make them burn in hell. But yeah, that is not what's happening, basically because we win and because they are not accused. Ah, that I have learned to perform the last rites of soul in trials lacking some things. Ah, yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry. Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen. Yes, it really does think highly of Emma and her forensics expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. And again, he is an international prosecutor who solved tough cases around the world. Time to hunker down, huh? And now then, let's continue with today's proceedings. Could the defense please tell us who's the third party dressed as Lady Kira was? Your new claims has negated the insight of the royal priestess. So I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct? Yes, of course. This third party must have really wanted to kill the High Priest. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent. Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright. The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this.
Take that!
3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual. He did. Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the High Priest. The letter said do not perform the rite, but the rite went on schedule. I believe that is why the High Priest was murdered. Oh, who do you suppose sent the letter? The person with something to hide, the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Peace! I do not understand. I had heard that Lady Kira has been in the news of late, only hunting rebels. If so, why would she have killed the High Priest? Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the High Priest had secretly been a rebel? The High Priest? A devout follower of Kuranism, a rebel? Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you? I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more possible.
Objection.
The third part was the rebel hunting Lady Keeper. And the Indian and the High Priest was a rebel. Your mockery of Kurai, no. Of the kingdom of Kurai itself knows no bounds. Mockery? You're mocking yourself with what the hell you're doing over here. Whoops. As a faithful Kuranism, I take issues with these claims. And I am loath to admit them into today's proceedings. I don't like where this is going. The defense claims are but a vile blasphemy tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother. Is it really that big of a deal, Maya? But Inme was a distinguished monk and very well respected too, so yeah. Please don't let this turn into an international incident. But fear not. Good people of Kura, the ranting of this putrid-brained lawyer, who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased, shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites. The prosecution's assertions the accused killed the victim remains unchanged. But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. How was that possible when he had his back towards Maya? Someone else must have killed him. Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seal. Sorry, I had to yawn a bit. But do not let it go to your putrid head. The karmic flow of this trial is, as yet, still in my hands. How can you be so confident? Because he's an ass? That's the only thing I can think of. Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling my new witness to the stand. Oh, wonderful! We actually have a witness. So you mean there is a third party that saw everything? Oh, great! And for some reason that is not that is only brought up now. Wonder-fucking-ful. Yes. An eyewitness who will deliver the definitive answer that will dispel the defense doubts. An eyewitness. Very well. Let us call this eyewitness to the stand. Don't tell me it is. Yeah, I don't even know who the hell he is. It's him again. Well now, it has to be the shaggiest witness I've ever laid my eyes on. Please state your name and occupation. You know, that's so whatchamacallit. Anonymous. Anonymous. This is anonymous. That's what they've been calling, eh? Ask it to be determined. Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac, therefore. I named him Anonymous to be determined in my report, but he thinks to be dead is a part of his name.
Objection!
You're letting an amnesiac testify. Have no fear, I have already questioned him at length. And still you sound like it's a good idea? Well, it is true that it has utterly forgotten his name and past. His memory of what the witness is still very much intact. Considering the dearth of information and new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. Inmus, please tell us what you saw. I think I'm gonna try to make his voice a bit darker. Well, that night I was at the top of the mountain. Pony. Which was Pony? I think Pony was the little one to the left, right? Poster of the High Priestess house shows the inner sanctum at Pony. Yeah, okay. Oh, it also says it. I don't know why I didn't continue reading. The mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. Well, I know it was a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the riot in the inner sanctum. Oh, you asshole of a prosecutor. Didn't you even realize what he was saying there? That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. Oh, you... Okay, let's check here what the problem is. First, ritual curtain. No one can see a shit anything. Second of all, Pony is smaller than the other mountain. Oh, prosecutor, you have to start not trusting your fate so much and start believing in your goddamn brain. Or whatever is left of it. What cat is controlling your brain? There's no way you saw Miss Face stab the victim with a dagger. I swear I don't know what he's talking about. Or I don't remember at any rate. Now Pony, that beautiful mountain that is also known as Little Sanctum. Yeah, they must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster. Mr. Inmus, I was wondering. What can I do for you? His voice is raspy as shit. The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can be obscure the view. Are you sure you will be able to happen from the mountaintop next to it? Good point. His Majesty raised an excellent question. Well, Mr. Inmus? When I drove right, there was a cloud. It wasn't a cloud in the sky. A perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day. We do. Today's purification rite. The thick white ice, just as it melted, the Riken of the plant will give Mount blessing. I guess it says. I don't know. I don't feel it says anything like that. Yeah, let's take a look. I do love I'm taking a look and then they take a look. The area around in the sanctum will enjoy calm sky, clear skies today. Oh, there it was. I must have missed it. See? I told you, sir. I'm trying to find a voice for him that is low and kind of weird and at the same time don't killing my throat. Well, it would appear the witness has offered testimony worth hearing. Mr. Innes, I too have a question for you. Didn't he already question the witness? No, he did not, this lazy bastard. Well, that was what I'm here for, eh? Sure. How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it under her? Its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand. Oh, yep, I believe it sure was. It's called a reverse grip. It's called a reversed grip. How the hell do you know? Because first of all, I don't know it's called a reversed grip. Does that mean then that you might be quote-unquote military or ex-military? I thought so. Hold it right there. What bearing does that have in this case? case, cease your interruptions, your putrid-headed line. Do you not see the significance in how the blade was held? Oh, why don't you enlighten me, oh enlightened one? I knew. I could already picture you in your next life. Next life? Yes, after your soul withers for centuries in the pits of hell. You shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin, with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live a short, inconsensual life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter. That's a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case. Now pay attention. How the accused held the dagger is vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what actions she took. You were saying that the victim killed while he had his back towards the accused. Is that correct? Yes. As such, the accused dagger grip tells us something very important. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arm around. That is thus, Mr. Also, didn't we say that he only heard his footsteps and not hers? Thus, Miss Imma's testimony clears up any doubts that might remain. And is concise with her benevolence insight as well. This is a disaster. I thought I'd blown those inside out of the water, but now they're back to haunt me. Now the defense may cross-examine the witness. That night it was up top on the Mount Pony next to the inner sanctum. I ate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no since there was no one around. I used binoculars to spy on the right in the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger.
Objection!
Ritual curtains. Your Majesty, I had my doubts about this bushy bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him. What? You ain't just judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are ya? Not at all, Miss Immas. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony. His testimony, is eh? Yes, recall how the inner sanctum was that day. Specifically, that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain. Why yes, I believe you're right. Still doing some sort of British accent to this guy. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness' view from the Pony. Therefore, it couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen. Miss Emmas, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court? Oh, well, Prosecutor, this is on you, you imbecile. I didn't actually see the accused herself. He didn't actually see the accused herself, wonderful. What's that supposed to mean? Let me see the record again, I beg you. I'm still trying to make like the dark voice, but it doesn't really work. I think I'm just gonna do it like this, kind boys. I saw the shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear, still night. I could just tell she was accused of reverse gripping that dagger. Shadows, that's what you saw. That's right. Let's see what's going on by the shadow projected into the ritual curtain. In the future, Mr. Inmus, I would rather you offered up accurate testimony from the start. Forgive me, my main man, Mr. Magistrate. Chalk it up to my first memory. Thought he saw but shadows. It is still valuable testimony. Oh, you are an asshole. Because you should goddamn know that the full moon needs to be above that little mountain, which means there is no shadow. You have to be kidding me. Oh, and you are supposed to be the holy one that knows every such fucking ritual. Nope. Also, sorry for my swearing. I guess I'm just a little too excited with this game. What are we going to do now, Nick? All I can think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual ritual rite and Mr. Inmus says he saw. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more. Okay, I'm just gonna read the book because it says somewhere where the moon is supposed to be.
Hold it!
Whoa. The clip just sees shadowed figures that were projected on the ritual curtain. Let me just read this. The two of the voted Messiah prayed and close 2 days later at noon, basically the whole thing at the bath. The purification rite is a 3-part ceremony. When the moon is directly over summit, yeah. But did you really see Mr. What did you really see, Mr. Immus? Of course I did. A bright moonlight projected them into that curtain, clear as day. It was like watching a scene out of a horror movie from my front seat on Mr. Pony. It does, but... Maya, do you recall how bright the moon was that last night? I remember there weren't any clouds, and the moon was definitely out. I don't remember if I could cast any shadows. Okay, thanks. We can't deny that the moon was really bright, which means it's possible it was bright enough to cause shadows to appear. Gonna do that, gonna do present. Wow, you are lying so much.
Objection!
You are lying so much. You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight. Sorry, but that's just not possible. What do you mean? It's not possible, it was totally possible. It was totally possible. That's impossible. I think I'm going to need a logical translation on that. Let's take a look at this article, this rite guide, shall we, Mr. Inmus? The rite is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mist Pony Pony. Oh, you. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastwards. First, Mr. Inmus was standing to the west of the inner sanctum on Mount Pony Pony. Holy Mother! That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain. Perhaps was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast the shadow we saw. I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Immus claims to have seen. But I did see those silhouettes, really. But how could he, Nick? Maybe it was somewhere where they were visible. Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty, if Mr. Immus really did see those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light. What would that be? The brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Immus really did see those shadows is he was somewhere else. It wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. I really hated his whistling as well, like, I'm gonna try to get out of this. Oh, then where do you propose the witness was? Some place where he could have seen the shadowy figures, naturally. Wait, you mean None of the mountains east of the inner sanctums are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place you could have clearly seen the shadows from. Where might that be? The inner sanctum. He must have been there. Mr. Immus was at the inner sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadow figures. Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that. But wasn't in the sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused? And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that a subject prosecutor Shadman would rather not touch right now. You mean? That's right. This witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. It could have been the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest.
Objection.
No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum. And the only way up there are the stairs that start down at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness enter the sacred space? I know exactly. Parachute from the prison. The sanctum has a sheer cliff on 3 sides and a steep towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the face of the cliff. I don't know. This matter speaks true. To say Mr. X was such an inaccessible location is but a bit to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right? Right! I wasn't at the inner sanctum, no sir. No how. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't. I'm pretty sure I wasn't. Then what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen? I started to think you have been imagining things. Mate, you just said it. What the... This is insane. Yeah, he is insane. I knew we couldn't trust a lawyer. Like, mate, could you please listen to this bastard here? Peace, peace, I say. This is impossible. Unless I can show how he got to the inner sanctum, it just looks like I'm trying to slander Miss Inmas. I believe in you, Nick. What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy. I'll have you know. Please, my only making things worse. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself now. I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts. Yes, your majesty. I wasn't a bad guy before, I definitely am now. Now, Miss Innes, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night. Yeah, don't worry, I know exactly where the hell you were. You were at the outside, you were inside. But you were on that mountain, and I know exactly how you got there. I know exactly, you little fella, how you got there. I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell ya. That much I'm sure of, even with that fussy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible for me to be there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. I'm still trying to find his voice. I just feel like I'm just playing around with him right now. I guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the inner sanctum, like he claims. Now, will you desist in trying to frame this innocent witness? How he got up there. Oh no, he got down there. Mr. Wright, is it not time to end these cross-examinations? A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of toil. It is meant that for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torments are added to their time in hell. Puritanism is strictest religion ever. Unjust. You have already accrued 200 million years, extra years. Sure. What's another 200 million, give or take? Well, it's a big deal to me. I can't keep saying that the witness was there at Inner Sanctum if I can't prove it. The problem is, how am I going to do that? There's nothing I think I can use my my things on. I can't use my court record on that, because nothing tells me how he got there.
Hold it!
But I know that he got there. Are you sure you weren't there? I'm sure of. Is that you're deeply skeptical? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are all lawyers like this? Most certainly. They always try to pin crimes on innocent witnesses, without any proof whatsoever. They are no better than bacteria or viruses. Yikes, you mean he is contagious? He's gonna give me laryngitis. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Yeah, that was a close one. You almost put me there with the scene of the crime when I wasn't even there.
Hold it!
You just said your memory was fuzzy. Sure I did. What's the big deal? I'll tell you what. The testimony isn't very credible if your memory of the event is fuzzy. Oh, no worries there. My memory may be fuzzy, but I'm ever clear on one thing. Here we go again. If you ask me whether or not I remember what I did that night, I'd say I do. In short, you are confident that your testimony is true. Is that correct, Mr. Immus? Exactly, guess you don't get to be judged for nothing. So in closing, I can clearly say that I was totally not there. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. I wonder if it really is impossible for you to get there to the Inner Sanctum. If you have something to say, just say it. Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention? No, there isn't! Which means there is. Perhaps the defense would like to share its theory with us? I don't even have a wild guess, not alone a theory though. Time to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the Inner Sanctum without attracting attention... He fell from the sky. Maybe you fell from the sky. The lawyer thinks he's a comedian now. I was wondering what crazy theory you could propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it. Mr. Immus could have parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear and there was no wind to speak of. And that's exactly why that day was the only day they could not do the ritual. Perfect weather for skydiving, I say. Now that you have been backed into a corner, your delusions grow even more ridiculous. The Inner Sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff, over 200 meters tall. One misstep and a skydiver would find himself in the Twilight Realm. Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was. Even I could have made that jump. Oh yes, you could. If you are a military parachuter. Wait, what's that building on the top of the Sacred Mountain? That is the Royal Penitentiary number 4. Alright, the Princess Rifle mentioned there was a prison up there. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? By heli. But only with authorization from the minister. He is the only one who can approve flights that passes over the inner sanctum. Oh, I already know exactly where this is going. That's kind of why I'm laughing, because this guy is like, there is no way he could have fallen from the sky. Because the cliff there is too dangerous and no one could handle it. And basically also says you are putting yourself into a corner. I'm sitting here like, mate, I don't see a corner behind me. Might I also add that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving have been found. Oh, are you sure about that? I say, I flew down for a flap in my arms. I may be an incredible dude, but even I'm not that capable of that. Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Inmas. It's not like I can fly through the air either.
Objection!
You can, and you were. Miss Inmas is right. You couldn't have skydived from the down there without any gear. Well, now, finally come around, have ya? I see that I couldn't have possibly been there in the sanctum. Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is. Oh, what I thought you were talking about? That overreaction is that giveaway that I'm right on the track. Take a look at the piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they have been sewed together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function as a parachute. Oh, now you realize I'm not in a corner. I do love that he's introduced into this game as the prosecutor who knows exactly the flow of the trial. Yeah, sure, mate. He only knows the flow of the trial because he believes that the accused is always going to be the accused and nothing else. That the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation. No, well, this cannot be. The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using these prayer flag as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Inmas? There's no way out. I'm surrounded. Miss Inmas? I'll just talk to jog my memory, I guess. I guess I was there at the inner sanctum after all. Oh, dear lord. And everyone here is like, we trusted this dude. You did what? As I suspected, there were 3 people there at night. You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all. Thanks. Mr. Inmas, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, were you? What? No way! No how? It's like this. Oh, yeah. I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident. By accident. Exactly. That thing's not a parachute, it's a homemade paraglider. A paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material? Well, it don't look like much, but it's as sturdy as it can be. Rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point. But then something happened that forced me to land at the inner sanctum. So just happened to land there. You expect me to believe that? Now, please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed. And it certainly warrants further explications, therefore let's continue with more testimony. I kinda like I like this judge. He does a lot of bad-mouthing each time there is something with the religion being talked about, but it always is, there is something going on here. We continue. He's not just saying like, yeah, well, let's just end things here. He sometimes implicate to end things here, but that's because he can't see shit. But when we actually find things, he knows when the truth is there at least. That evening, I was enjoying a trick through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. Just as Miss Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. Laxer forced me to make an emergency landing at the Inner Sanctum. As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. You see, I ended up at the Inner Sanctum barely by accident. And even if it was accident, I think you were the one that killed him. Not by being Kira, but by basically smacking him in the back straight through the to the goddamn statue. Mr. Immus, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning. I can't be helped, I mean, I'm just remembering it now. Continue such slip with testimony, and you will be cast into the hell of hangnails, where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years. What about your hell? You're the one that trusted this dude and basically says his testimony is crucial. That's the only problem I have with this dude. He never thinks of his own sins, only of the sins of others. Because this guy is supposed to be sinless. But, yeah, I'm getting the feeling that is how religions has been for long. I don't think I pass on that. Looks like that caught Prosecutor Sadman's off guard. It's my chance to rip his case to shreds. Alright. I know exactly where you came from. You came from the goddamn prison. That evening was a joint trek through the night sky. I'm gonna press stuff here because nothing mentioned anything. You were enjoying a trek through the night sky with your homemade paraglider. You didn't go to pray. Yeah, the devout Curran isn't like me, it can pray anywhere. You know what, flying through this night sky? I would recommend you try it. You're bound to end up dead. Paraglider? I don't see anything like that. That's cause of a ritual curtain and blocked your view. You should have seen me majestically soaring between the mountains. Really? What do you think, Mr. Nick? Don't ask me. I was really enjoying that fly. First anyway. I think there's something here. I'm gonna try something. But just as Mr. Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. Okay, there is nothing yet, so I'm just gonna press. I thought he mentioned that he went from Pony to the other one, but basically he could have said he was close, but I'd go the other way, which means he could have been further up. Something terrible happened. Exactly. And when I say terrible, I mean terrible. What? Was there something unexpected near Mount Pony? What was it again? Wait, you don't remember? Let's just say it was terrible. Dear Lord, this guy.
Hold it!
What exactly was this accident you had? Good question. Now, what was it again? Oh, wind. Yeah, it was a wind. Not just a wind, but a sudden gale forced the wind made me lose control. The wind was strong enough to make you lose control. You had that right? Okay then, please add that to your testimony. I'm gonna check something. I'm gonna check the weather again. The warmer temper will be make excellent prey. Be warned, however, it will be a cold front move over in no night. The sun will be more clear skies today. The warmer temper will make for an excellent prayer weather. Winds. It was added though, but it didn't say anything. It said that clear skies. Wait, what did it say exactly? The round in Sanctum will be enjoyed. Calm, clear. Yeah, calm. This is the thing.
Objection!
It's calm. We have a saying in my country, Mr. Immus. When one lie spouts another. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? It means someone caught lying again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie you're telling to cover your tracks. What did you say? You claimed gale force winds caused you to lose control. But this newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says the area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. Yeah, why, I do believe it does say that. One lie spouts another. That makes sense, but it's really a saying back home. I never heard of it. Yeah, I kind of made that one up. For real. Your Majesty, the witness testimony contains another flaw. One that even more fatal to his cause. More fatal, you say? The defense will explain him at once. Mr. Immers claims he was flying up around the inner sanctum with his paraglider. But it would be impossible to get all the way up there without any wind. Why, yes, I do believe you're right. But we know the witness was at the inner sanctum, so... Mr. Immers, how did you get there and from where? Without any wind, he could have flown up there from the bottom of the mountain. By process of elimination, the only starting point that makes any sense is... Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the inner sanctum, Immers must have launched himself from here. The prison. Are you insane? That's where he came from. If he couldn't have come from below, the only other option is from above. So you see, Anonymous came from the Royal Penitentiary number 4. From there, he could have easily reached the inner sanctum by parachute. And that means he might have also killed the High Priest. What? Miss Idmus, were you the third party at the inner sanctum? The one behind the warning to halt the right that the victim received? Was it you we saw in the final memory? Are you the rebel hunter, Lady Kira? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, help me out here. You did it. You finally left him speechless. Ah, come on, Prosecutor man. Quiet, you fool. You should use this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. For a fate worse than hangnail's hell awaits you now. Well done, defense. I must concede at this point to you. The witness did, in fact, descend from to the inner sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4. He didn't even put up a fight this time. That's awfully generous of him. But if you are as perceptive as you seem, then you surely already figured out the riddle. The riddle of Anonymous' true identity. His true identity. Yep. He is this dude. I don't know his name. That's Arbal. I don't know if there's a pun there, but I don't know. I want to say that's an airball. I would assume that I'm the only one here still in dark here. Would the defense care to enlighten me? Who is this man we have been calling Anonymous? The witness' true identity is... Is this really him? Only now do you realize the truth. Well, please do share with us your belated insight. What's wrong, Nick? Why are you holding back? Because this is going to be very helpful to our case. Really? Are you sure? Unfortunately, I got no other choice. Is that not helpful for us a case? I don't even know. The scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off. But it's all becoming clear now. The nighttime base jump from the mountaintop prison. The precision landing at the inner sanctum using only a homemade parachute. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is That's Arabal, prison escape. Oh, I think I figure out his name. That's a rebel. His name is That's a Rebel. Oh dear lord. I thought it was something with rebel, but for some reason I couldn't get Arbal to rebel. That's because A is something else and rebel. That's a rebel. Prison escapee and key member of Duruk's rebel group. Everyone's freaking out. The witness is an escaped prisoner. Precisely. The police have been scouting every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was under our noses the entire time. Good job, police, then. I didn't think anyone would see through my clever disguise. But the witness charade is not all that has been shattered. It is the defense. Is it the defense? Oh boy, do I hate this guy. Yeah, I hate him as well. I can agree. Please recall the defense's own words. Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the High Priest. The letter said do not perform the rite, but the rite went on a schedule. I believe that is why the High Priest was murdered. Why do you suppose he got that letter? A person with something to hide, the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Yeah. He claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira. Yeah, and what's your point? What of the witness's true identity? Only a paratrooper, more precisely a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is Dasa Rebel, prisoner escape, and key member of Duruk's rebel group. Oh no. He is a rebel. And an escaped prisoner. He could possibly not have been Lady Kira's mortal enemy of the rebels. Now, perhaps the witness will enlighten us to the truth. Like that is something bad. We just said that because he must have been that person and all of this, but yeah, that's just because the only one we see killing the person is the rebel hunter. That's all. That's why we say that it must be the rebel hunter. Nothing else. Like, this doesn't break anything. After all, he has yet to refuse any of this. You got me. I'm the razor-sharp fang of the Defiant Dragons. Is he gonna shave? When did you get your memory back? Huh! Around the time you guys were talking about there being no wind. But you gotta give me credit for me making up all that testimony off the top of my head. Are you prepared to tell us the truth now? Well, that's the truth. I parachuted down in the sanctum, but I banged my head on impact and ended up unconscious outside the ritual curtain. In short, all my eyewitness testimony was a big fat lie. Oh, and by the way, long time no see, Yachty. Wait, They know each other? Your Majesty. This filthy rebel belongs in jails. Oh yes, of course. My lips, seize him at once. Seems you really have gotten the will of the dragon, huh, Yeti? Well, I haven't. No dogs of the Grand Regime are gonna lay a thing on me. I think they did something. I'm pretty certain when he parachuted down, he smacked the abbot. That's what happened. The escaped prisoner escaped again. The police force have been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long. An escaped prisoner escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony. Talk about a troublemaker. He really pulled a number one on all of us. A number on all of us. What was the point of all that anyway? Well, I can't help but feel that the entire episode was an enormous waste of time. Your Majesty. Perhaps it was not a great waste as you might have believed. What makes you say that, Prosecutor Saltman? That's a rebel that dropped something as he made his escape from these halls. That scrap of paper look awfully familiar. These appears to be direct orders from the Rook. From the Rook, the rebel leader. But we've only a small it's only a small corner of it. Wait, I remember now. Wait a second, that means we have two of these. This one. And that was from a letter we found in the inner sanctum. A giant bloodstone was makes it impossible to read. Yeah? The scrap that's a rebel dropped is a part of this. Yeah, this is. I found it at the scene of the crime. It appears to be a copy of the order that a rebel dropped. If we put these two together, we should be able to read what the order says. Oh, I do love it's kind of perfectly lined up as well. Oh my! What does it say, Mr. Wright? I can't read Kuranese. Prosecutor Sadman, if you please. The ignorant lawyer has not bothered to learn our language. Very well. To be fair, I wouldn't care. If the language is only how to actually spout nonsense, I would really not care of actually learning that. I do not understand. Well, what does it say? Using the lamp lines as a landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was don Lady Kira's robes and make his escape. What? That is how he was to escape from prison. So if it were to assume that Mr. Arbol was the one who killed the high priest, then maybe it was because Abbot Immit tried to thwart his escape plan. A foul lawyer. I'm afraid that is simply ludicrous. But I didn't say anything. Did you just read my mind? I know how your putrid mind works. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the Reaper escape plans have been revealed, it is clear that a rebel is not the High Priestess killer. How can you be so sure? If you only could use that putrid brain every once in a while. That's a rebel's plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual. What do you mean? I am speaking of Abbot Immit. Had that a rebel simply donned Lady Kira's robes and made his escape alone, he could have been far too conspicuous. But were he by the High Priestess' side, the faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is therefore unthinkable that a rebel was the High Priestess' killer. So then, you're saying the High Priest was... oh, I cannot bear to say it. I'm afraid so. His numbers among the rebels who threaten our king. How could this be? The funny part is, before he screamed he cannot be because he's a monk. And now he says, yes, that's how it is. Let it go and move on. Accept the truth. It is the only way. And that goes double for you. Cease your futile battle now. And why should I? Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we eliminated the rebels from our list of suspects, there is only one person that still remains the accused. Maya.
Hold it!
Hold it right there. Aren't you forgetting something important? Something important? Please do explain, defense. We can't end this trial without looking into the murder weapon. Oh. Whoops. Okay, fair enough. Apparently not the murder weapon. I'm gonna save here just in case. I probably should have read all of them. Just in case. Really should have done. The arrow. Third party. The arrow. I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Kira we saw in the Seance vision. If that wasn't that's a rebel, then who was it? That matter has already been resolved. It has. What's it talking about? It is, as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the Seance vision.
Objection!
But there was another Lady Kira there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her. I can't put my finger. Oh god damn. It is time to let go and move on. God, now he's gonna start saying that as well. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your own. This hardly seems fair. It is quite simple once you consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring, with his back to the accused, what would he see ahead? Besides the water itself, there's nothing but a warbird statue. Precisely. The Lady Kira we saw in the seance is the warbird statue draped with the sacred robes. The accused wanted the false Lady Kira to appear in the seance vision. Before she came from behind and stabbed the victim with a dagger in a reverse grip. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do a cliffhanger here though, because we are gonna end the stream. But I hope you all enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun with this. I, of course, managed to kind of fuck around with the seance there a bit, because I could not figure out the problem, even though it was staring me in the face. But yes, it has now been basically 3 hours and 5 minutes. So we're gonna check if we can raid some absolute wonderful person. I don't know yet though who to actually raid, so we're gonna check who we can raid, but we're gonna do this first. We're gonna do this and we're gonna go over to this.